ever wished to have a luxurious car? That was your desire for the car. However, because of lack of money in your bank account, you tell yourself, I wish I had the money to buy the car. That is your willingness to buy the car. Now say you win a huge lottery and loads of money. In that situation, you will have the ability to pay for the car. Remember, the desire for an asset backed by the willingness to pay for it plus the ability to pay for it all together constitute to demand. In our day-to-day life, as long as we are willing to pay for a commodity and have the ability to pay for it, we call it demand. However, in economics, such demand is referred to as direct demand. There are different types of demands. Let's have a look at them one by one. Say you own a factory and produce washing machines, TVs, and cell phones. These products cannot be produced without the factors of production like screws, hammers, etc. Hence, the demand for screws and hammers is because of the need to produce a final product like washing machine. Demand for such goods, which are demanded indirectly for producing final consumer goods, is referred to as indirect demand or derived demand. Have you ever demanded tea? Have you ever thought that you cannot demand tea without demanding milk, sugar, tea powder and water, which are necessary for making tea? When two or more goods are demanded jointly to satisfy a single want, we call it joint demand. Certain things like electricity satisfies multiple wants, from lighting a bulb to charging a mobile phone. When there is demand for a commodity that satisfies several wants at a time, we call it composite demand. These were certain types of demand. Friends, let me ask you a question. Say you go to a store on a regular basis to purchase 3 chocolates worth $10. However, one fine day, suddenly the prices of chocolates increase to $20. In such a situation, you will buy only 1 chocolate instead of 3. Why? Because as the prices of a commodity goes up, your purchasing power reduces. Hence, your consumption goes down. We can show this with the help of a diagram. It is customary to plot prices on the y-axis and quantity on the x-axis. The demand curve is downward sloping because it symbolizes a negative relationship between prices and quantity demanded. The demand curve shows that as the prices of the commodity rises from $10 to $20, the quantity demanded falls from 3 chocolates to 1. And as the prices fall, the quantity demanded rises. This behavior was given by Alfred Marshall in his book Principles of Economics. Marshall stated that ceteris paribus, meaning other things being equal, higher the price of a commodity, smaller the quantity demanded, and lower the price of a commodity, higher the quantity demanded. This behavior came to be known as the law of demand. However, we stated other things being equal. What are those other things? Factors like population, income, preferences, substitutes, and government policies should remain the same, or rather, we need to make an assumption that they remain the same. Let us understand why it's necessary to make such an assumption. If the population of an economy keeps growing, then the quantity demanded of the commodity will also rise, even if the prices remain constant or increase a little. This way, the law will fail to hold. Hence, it is important for us to assume that population in the economy remains constant. Similarly, if a person's income increases, he could afford any commodity even when prices rise. Hence, income is also assumed to be constant for this law to hold. A person's preference should not shift from one commodity to another. If he prefers ice cream today and a few days later starts demanding cake, then one will witness fall in demand for ice cream even if prices remain the same. This thing happens between different brands. Hence, we assume that preferences remain the same. If the prices of champagne falls, then people will stop drinking whiskey even if the prices of whiskey remain the same. Hence, for the law to hold, it is important that prices of substitute commodities remain the same. And last but not the least, if the government reduces taxes, then it will leave more money in the hands of the people. Hence, they'll buy more of any commodity even if the prices rise. This way, the law will fail to hold. Hence, we assume government policies do not change. These are certain things that we need to assume if the law of demand has to hold true. Variations in demand. When the prices of commodities go up, the quantity demanded falls. This is contraction of demand. Similarly, when prices fall, the quantity demanded rises. This is expansion in demand. When the government reduces taxes, it leaves more money in the hands of the people. This way, even if the prices of the commodity remains same, they can purchase more of the commodity. This leads to a rightward shift in the demand curve and is referred to as increase in demand. Similarly, when government increases taxes, it leaves lesser money in the hands of the people. Hence, lesser quantity is bought at the same price, which leads to a leftward shift in the demand curve. This is decrease in demand. Remember friends, expansion and contraction of demand happens across the demand curve, whereas during increase and decrease in demand, either the demand curve moves rightward or shifts leftward.